Thank you for joining me on the show today. This is the Now Talks, a collection of inspiring personal stories and leadership lessons from some of the world's most iconic leaders. It is the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. My name is Dr. Tina Allton, and I'm your host for today and the coming weeks. Hello and welcome to the very first edition of the Now Woman Talks in 2023. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. I do hope and pray that this year is going to be a year that is transformational, productive, and really sees you being able to move out of the old season into the new season, fulfilling your dreams, being able to touch lives, being able to impact other people outside of yourself. So to do that, I want us to look at 5 ways in which we can boldly step into the new year, or 5 ways to set the year right, any new year right, or even if it's not a new year, but you know that you've come to the end of a season and you're stepping into a new season, 5 ways that you can boldly step into a new season for you. And I've broken that into 5 because I think it's fairly easy that way to manage. So first of all is, to the purpose of this whole idea is to take personal time out. Personal time out, time out. Why is taking time out very important? Because it just allows you to be able to reset, if that makes sense, reset. And that's exactly what I believe. The beginning of any new year or any new season allows us the opportunity to reset. Also, because we're the light and the salt of the earth. And what does light do? When light comes on, it means that it dispels every darkness, or, where you have to put light on when there is no where your ability to see, or there is darkness. And if we are the light of the world, it means that whenever we show up, wherever we rise up, wherever we are, there has to be a light. There has to be a lifting. We are the light of the world, and therefore we are the ones that bring light into every situation and in all spaces, if that makes sense. And then we're also the salt of the earth. What does salt do? Salt preserves. Salt has the ability to actually change the entire taste of whatever it is that it's been added to, right? And therefore, if you're the light and the salt of the earth, it means that you're truly made for transformation. You're called to be and created to be a transformational agent. So it's important to take time out for yourself. Why should you take? Because wear and tear happens to all of us, right? There is wear and tear in our psychological, in psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and so many other ways. As long as we are still human beings, then we're going to experience and go through this life cycle of wear and tear happening to us. Science to prove that, well, a baby is born as a very tiny baby, and then every week, every day, every month, it keeps changing, right? Likewise, for us as adults, that happens. We all go through the wear and tear of life. It's part of how we're wired, how we're created. So that's why taking time out really allows you to be able to reset. And so I want to give you the 5 frameworks that you should implement whenever you take time out to reset. Number 1 is you take time out or set time apart for yourself, or I call it like a personal retreat even. You don't necessarily have to go, into the mountains or anything, but this is focused, dedicated time for you. And the number 1 key reason why you must do that whenever you're resetting to a new season or new year is so that you can obtain a renewal, right? You can renew your mind, you can renew your mindset, your thoughts, processes. Everything that requires a renewal, you have the ability to obtain a renewal. You're also able to get direction, right? Taking time out or personal retreat allows you to have time for regaining new direction. Now, why is direction important? Well, if you know where you're going, but you normally would use a sat nav because you know where you're going. Even with the sat nav, you're able to drive confidently, right? You're able to drive confidently and faster, not obviously breaking what do you call it, speed limits, but I mean where you're confident in where you're going and how you're driving. Likewise, in the same way, if you're going somewhere you don't know where it's at, you realize that you're a little bit slow, delay, all of those things, right? Because you know the one wrong turn can actually cause a huge delay. And so you want to take time out so that you can regain direction. For me as well, it's a way of receiving fresh empowerment. I'm a woman of faith. Faith is a big part of who I am. And so I believe that we all have faith, right? My good friend Liz talks about we all have some level of faith. It's like when you switch the light on, you have faith that there is going to be light. It's like when you get to front door, you put the key, you have faith your key is going to open. So it doesn't matter what you believe in, we all have some amount of faith. And for me, this fresh empowerment, I'm able to receive fresh empowerment from God because I believe that that is the higher being, that looks on me and supports me. And so what do you do when you, first of all, you kind of like set this time apart, when you take this time out? Number one is you want to step into this deep place of gratitude. Like it's an uncensored place of gratitude, thanksgiving to God, whatever it is that you believe in, right? Because it is good to give thanks. When we think about our relationships, friends that really genuinely show gratitude for maybe a gift or maybe something you do to help them out, or, just you are able to feel, wow, that, there is a feeling about it. Not that God needs us to do that, but as human beings, it is good to give thanks. It is good to be people that demonstrate gratitude in every area. And so the first thing to do when you take that time out is to step into this place, just lavish gratitude on the higher power. For me, it's God lavishing my gratitude for many, many things that that I've overcome in the old season or in the new, in the past year. For me, one of the biggest things I'm grateful for really is the gift of my mom's life. She was so sick in 2022, heart failure, kidney failure, like major organ failures, everything you possibly think of, not responding to medication. It was literally just waiting for that phone call. And so dealing with such intensity of sickness, and then she pulling through. I'm so grateful to God for the gift of her life. And for me personally, I'm just really grateful again for my own health, because during 2022, they discovered 7 lumps in both of my breasts, 4 in one, 3 in one. And I was facing, breast cancer diagnosis, and had test upon test upon test upon test upon test. Later in November, I get a letter to, tell me that all my tests came back clear, and that, the lumps that were discovered are not cancerous. And so I now have a better option in terms of what to do next. But I'm just really grateful, to God for just bringing me through that season. And there's so many other, things. I'm just grateful for friends who have become sisters that would just pull through, challenging times with me. And so you just take this time out to really pour your gratitude on God, or pour your gratitude. Just name your blessings, count your blessings and name them one by one. What is it that has happened to you in 2022 or in the previous year or in the previous season? Because I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, that has really made a big difference to you. And I know that every season, every year is not without its challenges. There's been so many real intense challenges that we face, but we cannot be stuck in those challenging times, or or the heart, maybe it was lost. Maybe, I don't know what it is that you went through in the last year or in the last season, but I want to encourage you to still take time out and think about, even if it's just one thing that worked out together for your good, and just pull your gratitude for that one thing. And I promise you that you will be able to see, you would be able to feel different as you are able to pour your gratitude on it. So don't focus on the challenges, focus on, the good pieces that happened for you. And number two, what you do in that time out is have an honest appraisal of yourself and an honest appraisal of the year past. It'll be 2022, or the season past, season behind you, right? Honest appraisal. And through this honest appraisal, you're able to identify strategic areas that, were defining moments for you in your last season, right? Or that actually defined perhaps who you have become, right? So you want to be able to really honestly appraise yourself. Look at your spiritual life. Did you grow? Did you stretch? What happened to you in your spiritual life? Your mental transformation. I don't mean your mental health, your mental transformation. How did you deal with, things, the mental maturity, emotional maturity that it takes to come through challenges or deal with situations or maybe even making decisions, right? How did you transform in your mental transformation? Because we are transformed by the renewal of our mind. So how was your mindset? What mindset, carried you? What mindset held you back? And what mindset pushed you forward, gave you strength? You want to look at an honest appraisal on your health and wellness, right? Did you take good care of yourself? Because your body is all you have, right? You have just the one body. Your body is what carries you everywhere you go. Your body is your case, if you will. Your body is your suitcase, right? So how you take care of that determines how you put what are you putting, determines where you get out. So you want to have an honest appraisal on that, your purpose or your assignment. We all have a purpose in life. Did you move further forward in your purpose? What did you do or did you not do in your purpose? What you're called and created for, right? Honestly, look at it. Did I actually walk in my purpose in this year, or did I not? Right? Growing is not just going to happen. You have to be intentional about that. You also want to appraise your finances. Did you manage your finances well, or did you not manage your finances well? And relationships, we all need relationships in order to get to where we're called to. And so you want to look at that, right? And when you're thinking about your finances or success, it's not about the physical things, right? I look at success as a component of many dimensions, component of many things. Success is a component. It's a compounded component. Your character, your habits, your actions, your mindset. It's not just one thing. It's not just your bank balance. It's a compounded component of many different strands and dimensions. So you want to really honestly look at all those dimensions if you're wanting to measure your success. And number three is, take time out to get direction for clarity. When you're clear on where you're going, you're able to identify, what is coming to distract you, DISTRACT, what is coming to distract you, and what is coming to destroy you, DES, right? Distract and destroy. There's a lot of things that, can easily weigh you down. It's like you have to lay aside everything that can so easily weigh you down, so easily just tangle you up. And when you lay all those things aside, all the drama aside, you're then able to run with perseverance the race that is set before you. Because we're all on the race of life. And it's a journey. And as you know, you can't go on the track with a suitcase and your backpack, and all those are all the baggages of life, all the drama of life, all of those things. We have to be able to lay all those aside. But how are you going to be able to lay that aside when you have a clear direction on where you are going? Right? Abraham Maslow talks about if you plan on being anything less than you're capable of being, you'll probably be unhappy all the days of your life. And so you have to be clear on where you're going. What is my purpose? What is it that I'm called to do? You have to have clarity into your next season. When you're clear on your direction, you're able to lay aside everything, as I've already said, and you're able to run with perseverance the race that is set before you. The speed in your life is based on your direction, right? How much speed you have, how much speed you work at, you not work at, but you go at in life is determined by your direction. And even, again, same as I talked previously about when you're driving and you know your direction, you're able to go, you're able to drive much more confidently. Number 4 is planning and having resolutions, right, for your next season. When you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So it's failing to plan is planning to fail. So therefore, it's very, very important that we plan. Planning is very, very important, right? Um, and so you need to be able to plan when it's like when you want to build a house, right? You have to plan. You have to plan the house, you have to plan your resources, you have to plan okay, how much is it going to cost me? Do I have the money? How long is it going to take? Who's going to build all those? So you have to be able to plan your life and look at who do I need to have in my life, in order to support me? Who are the friends in my life that I can lean on, I can count on? Where is my what is it inside? Do I have what it takes? Do I have what is required? Do I need to grow to become that person in order to be able to fulfill the purpose that I have, before me? And Eleanor Roosevelt, this quote is that your philosophy is not expressed in words, it's expressing the choices that you make. In the long run, you will be shaped, or in the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves, right? So the choices you make, all the choices, you have to plan all of those things. Your responsibilities will also reflect your approach. And this is possible when you plan. So you have to think about, okay, what responsibilities do I have? How am I going to plan, around my responsibilities? Maybe you have kids, maybe you're married. I don't know what your situation is, but you have to plan. And each planning has to take into consideration your responsibilities. Because if you plan outside of a responsibility, something is going to fall, something is going to break, something's going to be dropped, and you don't want it to be your family or even, at the cost of your own health and well-being. So you want to be able to think about that. And finally, it's all about the actions, right? What actions do you need to take now that you've been able to take time out, for direction, for clarity, for empowerment? You've taken time out to really consider everything we've talked about so far. What action is necessary to take? How are you going to execute on these plans? There has to be a way. You have to be planned in how you execute, right? How you execute on your plans is very, very key and important. And I know that doing an exercise like this can sometimes almost make you feel, wow, I've lost time, I've wasted years, I've wasted months, I've wasted weeks. And it can perhaps for some people set you into a place of regret. But I want to encourage you. There's always restoration. There's always restitution. For the years, the months that you may have missed, either through circumstances that are of your own or circumstances that might not have been of your own, right? There is always restoration. So don't be pulled down. Don't be sucked into regret. Know that there is hope for even a tree when it's cut down, there always is hope. When a tree is cut down, there is hope of the tree regrowing again and blossoming again. So I want to encourage you that if perhaps doing these appraisals bring you to a place of regret, don't regret. Don't regret anything about your life. Just look forward to the fact that you're still alive, there's still breath in you. And that in itself is a gift. And so what you do with that gift will determine the rest of what comes ahead of you. There is hope. There's always hope for you. There is hope for restoration. And I really do hope that you would be bold in stepping out into this new season, and that you would find the discipline it requires in yourself on a daily basis for every single day of the new season of the new year to really act on, the plans that you've put together, execute, make wise choices, wise decisions, change your habits if that's what is holding you back. Because the only guarantee that tomorrow will be better is if you're going to grow today, if you're going to make a difference today. And that's by John C. Maxwell. And so tomorrow depends on what you do with today, how you grow, how you stretch, how you think, what mindset you carry today. And so either I hope that you're going to take a step forward into growth and not back into safety, because there's no growth. There's nothing that happens when you keep staying in your comfort zone. So I really want to encourage you to boldly, just lay aside every assumption, lay aside the fact that, well, I don't know this, or it's not the right timing, or what if I make a mistake, or, what the expectations of other people, comparing yourself to people, or, even trying to be perfection. Lay aside all of those things, because none of it will help you to get to where you are called to be. And so if you lay aside all of those things, I do believe that you would be able to step boldly into your new season, because guess what? You've taken time out to be grateful, and that practice in itself will continue to stay with you. You've had an honest appraisal on yourself in whatever areas that you need to, right? You have also taken time out to gain clarity for your direction, and you have put together a plan, and now you know how you're going to execute, what actions you're going to take. When you put all of these together, I do believe that you're on for a successful new season, new year. And I wish you the very best in 2020. If there's anything that you'd like help with, then reach out. It'd be my honor, absolutely honored, to be able to support you in being able to reach your goals, reach your potential, and to see you fulfilling the purpose for which you were created. So with that, thank you for allowing me to bring you the message for this new year 2023. And I wish you the very, very best. I'll see you again next time. God bless you.
And that's all for this week. You've been listening to Dr. Tina Allton with the Now Talks, the weekly podcast for women in leadership, brought to you by Nations of Women. All that remains is for me to say have a fantastic week, stay safe, and reach out if you need any help now at nationsofwomen.com. Until next time, enjoy the pursuit of your potential, and remember, now is your time.